The earliest memory I have is our parents and friends and neighbors teaching us about what we should do and what we shouldn't do. We had to make sure that we behaved in certain ways. And there was a different world, black and white world. If we walked down the sidewalk and a white man was coming toward us, we had to look down upon the ground. And if a white woman walked down our same sidewalk, we would have to walk out in the streets. Couldn't walk down the same sidewalk. We couldn't ride in the front of the buses. We couldn't use certain facilities, restrooms, and different things around town. If we wanted to go and buy a pair of shoes or clothing, they could only hold the shoe up. We couldn't try them on. We couldn't try on a cap. I mean, imagine you living in a society somewhere where blacks and white cannot even talk to each other, cannot work together, and all of a sudden someone come to help you, someone who's white, and he treats you like a human. And naturally, we just bonded.
And again down through history, let us rise to the call of freedom-loving blood that is in us and send our answer to the tyranny that clanks its chains upon the South. In the name of the greatest people that have ever trod this earth, I draw the line in the dust and toss the gauntlet before the feet of tyranny, and I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect, pushing this true doctrine across the four winds of the earth and all truth and sincerity. This is just going to be a quick lesson, Lord willing, be edifying. And it was sparked up through a video that a young woman did in Dallas called Mingling with the Heathen. And he had made mention of these two young Jake girls that was about to be pretty much, if implement would be the word, to be put in a white school, you know, during the point of, during the moment of segregation, man, the time of segregation. And of course, you know, the average Joe Blow six-packs and, you know what I'm saying, the Betty Bourbons, you know, they didn't want that to happen, you know. They didn't want no so-called Negroes, which you so-called Negroes are a part of the tribe of Israel and you're a Judah, but they didn't want them to be implemented to their school. But the whole thing is, when it comes on the bigger scale or the bigger picture, because during this time, you had Jakes already within their own communities. You know, they had their own schools, own businesses, so on and so forth, kind of flourishing within their own group or nation of people, if you will. And, you know, when you got Jake within their own group not mingling with the heathens, you know, it would be a possibility they could come back to the Father, man, or the Lord will start dealing with them. But when you on a higher level of it, Esau knows this. So what Esau would do was allow, because nothing can happen in this current kingdom, because we know it through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua, but Esau allows things to happen. These two young girls could have never gotten to school unless it was deemed by someone higher up on the pinnacle. So what these devils will do is allow these black girls to go into this all-white school, and it's going to be like an open of the gate, and therefore Jake is mingling with the heathen again. They're learning their school system. You know, he's keeping, you know what I'm saying, pretty much on a spiritual point, our people away from their power, man, because when you get these Jakes into these all-white schools, they're going to start following the ways of these Edomites, man. They're going to learn the ways of these Edomites, and that's going to be continually mingling amongst the heathen, man, and keeping us further away from our power. And plus, you know what I'm saying, it's that same thing as far as cutting us off as a nation, man. Your brother bring that precept right for me?
I got a quick one.
Okay, come on with it, bro.
Made Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. You know, because at the end of the day, we all came from Adam, but at the same time frame, we are separate from these other nations. And when I say we, I'm talking about you so-called Negroes, so-called Native American Indians, and you so-called Hispanic tribes, man. You know, and our inheritance is really the whole world, but our land and capital is Israel.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Jeremiah 2:32. can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
And see, and that's why a lot of these so-called forefathers, these so-called community leaders like Martin Luther King, Al Sharpton, you know, Jesse Jackson, you know, Malcolm X, you know. But even Malcolm X, he was all about being separate for the most part, but he still was following the suit of the Edomites, man. You know what I'm saying? Want to have some type of equality. Wants to be able to mingle with the heathen, man. When we're a holy people, man. You know what I'm saying? We're not like these other nations, man. You know what I'm saying? The other nations, according to the scripture, said they are unto a spittle. You know what I'm saying? So they're nothing to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? The nation of Israel is the Lord's chosen people, man. The apple of his eye. But, you know, we lost our way due to mingling with the heathen and having all these false leaders set up to continue to push us in the direction of these heathens, man.
That's why we're in the predicament where we in now, man. Trying to follow after the gods of the other nations still of our true and only power. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man.
Right. Come on with it.
This Psalms 106 and 35, but will mingle among the heathen and learn their works, and they sell their idols which were a snare unto them, yet they sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto devils. And that's it, man.
The American dream.
Exactly.
The fashion of this world that's patterned after the pagan Rome Empire, man. That's what these that's what our people are doing, man, at this time frame.
Worshiping these holidays, you know what I'm saying, your different birthdays, you know what I'm saying, you worship that cold-heartedly.
Christianity.
You found out the customers of the heathen, man.
Yeah, they always look at the oppressor and look at them as like, man, they provide us with this, provide us with that. Look at how they're living, and then now they want to turn from the true power and turn unto the enemy.
That's right.
Age after age after age, captivity after captivity after captivity. That's the same thing that our people do, and then because you got to understand, this so-called civil rights thing, that was 50 years ago.
Right.
Now, the laws change, but what about the state of mind of the people? And now everybody talk about, oh my God, you're a racist, or oh my God, that was stereotypical, or oh my God, I was targeted. Of course you were. Nothing changed but pieces of paper that was signed as legislation.
That's right.
The scriptures say, they talk about how Esau has kept a perpetual hatred against his brother Jacob. So when you look at the so-called average white man or white woman, and even a white child, now you're able to put your brown-skinned child in their school system. You're able to work on the same floor as them. You're able to go to the same restaurant as them. You're able to sit at a bar and share a beer with them. But none of that amounts to nothing, because that hatred that they have for you is still there. Right. And they go home and they talk about it, but now laws keep them from preventing to actually be blatant with it.
But I'm gonna jump down and back you up. Jump down to 40. It said, therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the land, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen.
Wrath. Going into slavery, man. What? Because ultimately, all this happened because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, that was their time. Hey, we didn't fulfill our end of the bargain. Therefore, look at the state of our people now, man.
It said, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen,
Edomites.
And they that hated them ruled over them.
Edomites.
They hated them, ruled over them, right? Now, when you look at John F. Kennedy, when he signed that desegregation, that was the worst thing that ever happened, because now white people had to hide behind a different type of shield. Now, nigga, I hate you. You know?
But can I in evil segregation, you had your lawyers, you had your doctors, you had your teachers, you had your own churches, your school system. But now, because they wanted to be integrated, now everything is so-called joined hand in hand, politically correct. But at the same time frame, look at our state. That move was the worst move of all, man.
Just like what is the Emancipation Proclamation?
Yeah,
it went from being a private-owned slave to a corporate government slave, man. Now they're programming you and training you to do their work, like letting you and constantly having you mingling with the heathen, being in their schools, learning their school system, learning their philosophies. You grow up, You thinking you can be like Esau, one day be on his level, and you're not. He's gonna pump your head up, tell you that you can be, you know what I'm saying, with like their army slogan, be all you can be in the army, and they'll tell you can be all you can be whatever you want to be in America. Dream big, work hard, and you can achieve anything.
That's right.
No, I'm just saying, like Esau, he said that same dream to Jacob, the ones that sell out. But they don't understand it's a spiritual Van Allen belt. They can't go past it in society.
You got a cap on you, Jay.
There's some levels to that. Because it said verse 41, it said that enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into...
They press down this system, with utilizing the laws within this system. Because at the end of the day, like the brother said, it's only a certain ceiling you can get to, man. And even if you sell out, you still will never be the upper echelon within the society. All right, even if you sell out, you think Jay-Z done met a motherfucking Rothschild or a DuPont? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? You still a nigga.
He got that song, OJ.
Exactly.
Rich nigga, thin nigga, and all that, you know? It say the enemies also oppressed them,
right?
And they were brought into subjection under their hand.
And they was brought under subjection under their hand. Why? Because this was the will of the Most High, man.
That's why we're Edomites and the other nations, man. That's why we go to work with them, all things.
Yeah.
Precept.
No, you got it. Well, I was just finna say, that's why people work so hard, you know, trying to make it on this side. You know, they go to college, stressing out, you know, here it is, you go to been in school since Head Start, then you graduate from 12th grade, then you gotta go back to college for 8 more years. Our people just stress, man. You
now
know?
you in debt.
Trying to be equal with the so-called white man. You know, at the end of the day, because when you do those particular things, then you're practically subjecting yourself unto another. When you go back into the times that we had the trade schools, and you're able to pave your own way and be a master at your craft. Like even my grandfather, he couldn't read, but he could read a scale and measure a goddamn a ruler
and count money.
You know, and count money. Because when he died, he was worth $1 million, but he could build a building, a church, a house, anything with his bare hands. Because it goes back to skills, it goes back to trade. That's why you look at people like, who's that own the Mavericks?
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban. He doesn't have a college degree.
Right.
Most rich people, who the majority of Edomites, they're like, school's a waste. It's a scam. Be good at something and do that time after time after time after time. Do it 10 times, do it 1 million times, then you're a millionaire.
That's it.
And that president Theodore Roosevelt, he came out with a quote said, "A thorough understanding of the Bible is better than getting a college degree, man. Because a college degree is just a waste of time, man. You know.
Hey, think about this: if you go to a 4-year school, right, you done took out a loan damn near $35,000 or $40,000 for 4 years only. Okay, and then on top of that, you get a salary paying job, you making $25,000 to $28,000. All right, so now out of that $25,000 to $28,000, you have to pay your student loans. You got a car note, you got an apartment note. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay your utilities. You still got to get clothes. You got to have food. So now you got to go back to get your master's. So now this fucking $30,000 loan that you taking out now is $45,000 to $50,000, but you're not able to pay that back as it still accrues fucking interest, man.
Then at the end of it, he gonna say you overqualified.
Right.
You know, some shit like that, man. You know.
They ain't even working there what you went to college for. That's right. You busting tables at a restaurant.
Cause I got a coworker now, you know, when it's a Jake, of course, you know, but he been working on like a diesel mechanic. That's what I do. He be working for a diesel mechanic for like 8 years. It's hard for him to find another job because they say he overqualified.
See?
In my mind, I'm like, it ain't no but like mechanic shit, man.
Right,
He must
nigga, we
more
ain't
than
paying you
doctors
that
and
much.
shit, man.
Yeah, but he may have a lot of certifications and
That's
courses
why
that
he
he's
got.
taking.
Yeah, he's on certification, you know.
So he's really $100,000 salary man.
Yeah, Esau do that to suppress him.
So they rather bring someone in with either less skills or fresh out of a mechanic school or some technical school and give him 55 or 65 or 75.
Pay minimum wage.
Hey, you know why? Because by skill, now your boss or his boss, potential boss, salary's at jeopardy. Why? Because that man right there is more qualified than you. He's a threat. He's a threat now, but at the end of the day, shit, I can't really combat him because of these credentials, man.
Yeah. And because it's not about skill and quality anymore, it's about who I can lowball. Who will take the lowest bid in salary.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the book of Isaiah 31:1. And that's one thing why this place is going down too, man, because it's no longer about quality.
Nah.
It's just about
Quantity.
can I get over on you?
Yeah.
It's all about just getting over. That's why businesses are no longer quality businesses.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, no matter where you go, I don't care if it's a pizza shack or if it's a convenience store, a great chain, even Walmart. Walmart have 28 registers and will have one person working.
Yes.
Damn shame.
And then the self-checkout line be wrapped around the damn candy aisle.
Exactly.
You know, so this place is just failing, man. Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help.
And serves of our people. And when you talk about you wanted to integrate with the so-called white man, then you're going to Egypt for help. Okay, so who is Egypt? Modern day America. Who is the modern day Pharaoh? Fucking the Edomites.
Right.
And at this time frame, King Trump.
Yeah.
Because he so-called runs this society, although we know it's a shadow government behind him.
That's right. And look at all your suburban areas.
Yeah.
Previously, they were occupied by Edomites.
Yeah.
Yep.
You, through the desegregation, were able to get some particular finances. You moved to where they were.
Yeah.
It took one of you dark-skinned niggas, two of you dark-skinned niggas, three of you dark-skinned niggas. That area started merging to a different
Yep.
geometrical land, right?
A different part of town.
A different part of town, per se. Y'all went to that part of town.
Yeah.
Niggas are coming here.
Right.
They constantly moving like nomads, man.
Yep.
Right.
Getting
Notice
away
the
from
property
niggas.
value go down.
And the property value goes down when darky moves in. But can you see the trend? Can you see the trend? Like even when it comes into school, like people get enough money, going to private school. You know how many Edomites get on the board and panel behind the scenes to say, we don't want to integrate our school. We don't want these this particular head count of dark skinned people here.
The boosters.
The boosters here. Man.
Finances that shit.
That's right. So, continuing on, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many.
Right, because you got a lot of our people believe in their military system. They even join their military system. I'm going to be a Marine. I'm going to fucking be a fucking
Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL, so on and so forth. But all of that started with the process of integration, man.
Yeah, I'm going to be the president.
And I
I'm
don't
going
know
to be the
why
next president. Right?
Jake going to the army and shit, Navy, Marines, whatever the case may be. I think there was the Korean War. You ever seen where they told them that black men go home? Vietnam War. You know, you fight Esau's wars, man. You know.
Yeah, you the pawns on the chessboard to get sacrificed first.
Right.
It came out there in Vietnam where those Vietnamese will catch Jake, they'll let him go.
Yeah. Like, you the wrong one. We ain't after you. What the fuck you doing over here? You know, you gonna go back home, they gonna still be goddamn with oppressing your ass, but you over here fighting for them, man.
Hey, y'all seen that movie, Angel Has Fallen? Hey, in that movie, Esau brought out a lot of truth about how wars just basically mean shit. It mean nothing, man.
It's a game.
It's just a game. It's a scam. You seen that? You watched that movie, Angel Has Fallen. Then Esau came out with another video game, the new Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. You play the story mode, they're like little crooks. It happened like you can catch them like for 3 seconds. It basically tell you the truth, man.
Yeah.
You know? Basically like, hey, and that's not the good time to be signing up for the wars too, man.
Come, man.
Not the good time, man.
Yeah.
All right. Tell your family just go ahead and prepare. Prepare for that burial, man. Or not. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong.
Right.
But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel.
Yeah, our people don't even look to Yahweh Hashem Al-Shah, man. The Holy One of Israel, our rock. Go ahead, bro.
Neither seek the Lord Yahweh.
Right, and how do you seek the Lord Yahweh at this day and time frame via his prophets, man?
Right. But they'll never seek the Lord, man, because they constantly mingling with the heathen. They constantly praising to Jesus, you know what I'm saying, and doing whatever these Edomites do, man. You know, loving America, you know, steady working hard, you know, thinking hard, you know, kissing ass in the same goddamn position he was 5 years ago. But little Bobby came in because that's his daddy's best friend who's the manager. He's over you now.
Yeah.
Fresh out of high school.
And that's why it is written In their affliction, they shall seek me early.
And then also the 2nd 16th chapter said the more I will be angry with their sins, man. Then you read 2 Chronicles 15:13, those that will not seek the God of Israel, which is Yahweh Shemashah, they should be put to death. Whether small or great, you know.
Yeah. And that's why the Lord said, you know, I'm going to give me 144,000 men, 12 out of each tribe, to do my work, you know, proclaim my name, you know, condemn the heathen, condemn the 2/3, and once the work is done, I'm going to deliver those men. Because the Lord knew that the rest of Jake just was not going to get right, man. That's why 2/3 is going to be cut off and die, man. The Lord ain't finna just waste his goddamn time dealing with you niggas, man. The only thing he going to do is let the men of the Lord, his men, continue to teach, preach, and condemn, and seal the elect is what we out here for. And when that's all said and done, you know, we're going to be delivered, man. And the rest of y'all going to be destroyed. End of story, man. See y'all in the kingdom.
This Psalm 37:7. Rest in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospered in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass.
Yeah.
So don't be jealous of these heathens because they making it. This they rulership.
Exactly.
This they spiritual blessing for them to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, pretty much win in this society, man.
Yeah.
Hey, then the scriptures say wicked devices. Hence the philosophies, man. Like this lesson is going to, the term segregation, becoming, and then you left that way of lifestyle to become integrated. Why? Because you thought this would be a fastest route to get to their so-called kingdom.
You go back to Proverbs 3:31. If it's not the oppressor, man.
Exactly.
Also, Sirach 9:11, man.
Yeah.
Hey, this plan is something. The Most High told us not to envy these things.
Yeah.
Cause they're going to get punished for it. You know. And this is like a temporary moment.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's all
man.
it is. The Most High, it just shows you the mercy, just how, you know what I'm saying, the mercy of the Most High, how he lets every nation rule. They got all their time periods to rule, man. You know what I'm saying? So he just been justified by letting them rule for a certain period of time.
They go into the book of Matthew, how the Most High let the sun shine on the wicked and the just. Goes to show you that he's balanced, man. You know? That's it, bro.
That was it, bro. No, we can
Close it up.
yeah. Hey, Lord willing, you Akim was edified. Shalom.
Shalom.
This is Center Street North, the dividing line, the racial dividing line of Birmingham, Alabama. We are passing the home of Arthur Shores, whose home was bombed 3 different times during the 60s.
Jeff Drew cannot forget what life was like living in the segregated South of the 1960s.
And I was laying on the floor watching the TV, and the next moment, me and the TV are at the ceiling. It had literally blown us both off the floor. And I had my first taste of what a dynamite blast felt like.
Drew's family wasn't welcome in an all-white neighborhood. Determined to stay, his father took action to protect his family from hate groups.
That wall was built to stop the bullets and the dynamite that the Klan would shoot and throw.
Frankie Adams Johnson grew up in Mississippi, surrounded by symbols of racial segregation.
Whites were privileged, blacks were unprivileged, and we lived with signs of symbols of segregation. Whites here, blacks here.
You've got to keep the white and the black separate.
50 years ago, Birmingham was known as the most segregated city in the South. An example was here at the Lyric Theater. White customers could go through this entrance, while black customers had to go around the corner to a back alley entrance that was marked colored only. Many Southern communities passed laws to separate blacks and whites in schools, restaurants, and many other public places. Hollis Watkins from Mississippi remembers some of the unwritten rules.
If you were walking down the sidewalk and you meet white people, you step off the side and bow your head until they pass. Because if you didn't, it could be considered disrespectful, and they might kick you, beat you, or put you in jail.
I'm not for integration, I'm for segregation, and I will be until I die.